I promise, being successful as a brand is simpler than you think. And again, it's super hard, but it's even harder if you don't do these four things that I'm going to mention. And no, I'm not that arrogant to think that I know those four things and nobody else does. All of us know for sure, but most brands don't do it for some reason. And these four things don't come from my knowledge. They come from many interviews, over 130 interviews I have done at podcast, and hundreds of clients I have worked with at the agency since 2013. So trust me when I say that there are many things you can do to grow a brand. And yes, it's really hard, but if you do these four things, it will be more likely for you to succeed. Believe me. And I will start with the first one, and you will notice that these four things are super simple, but most brands don't do them. And if you are a brand, please check, have you done this? So the first one is product development. This brand I chatted the other day that gave me the idea for this episode, they spent 2 years, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, iterating and improving the product until they finally found what they were looking for. Some other brands I talked to on this very same show spent 5 or even 10 years until they found the perfect product they were looking for. So the lesson is take the time to offer a product that stands out. Forget about your ads for a minute. I'm talking about the product. The product layer is the most important one. If you have a bad product, ads will amplify the message that will go against you and not in your favor. Number two, product validation. After they had a high quality product, they needed to test it. How did they do that? Affiliates, ads, e-commerce? No, it's way simpler. They distributed the product manually to friends and family, colorists, because it's a beauty brand and they are part of target audience, and many other people in their target audience. They tested it manually. They went and tried the products even on themselves, right? So the lesson is that this one comes from Jack Ma, Alibaba's founder, and is that when you start, you need to do non-scalable things before you can scale. So in this case, test your product before mass releasing it. And I will repeat what I just said. When you start, you need to do non-scalable things before you can scale. And if you think about many of the companies, as mass companies, they all started, or many of them started in a similar way. I mean, Meta, Facebook started in a campus, right? They didn't start releasing the product on the internet to many countries or even the whole US or a whole city. They started in a university campus. Number three, funnel. And this one is super interesting because they wanted to create a unique concept, a unique funnel, something very different from the typical e-commerce store. But you know what? The first version flopped. It turns out that people didn't want something so different. I mean, when you navigate to through an e-commerce store, you're expecting to see certain elements like the logo, the top navigation, the hero section, the product listings, the certain buttons. Well, they want to be very, very different, but they ended up being that different that they need to rethink the whole thing because it wasn't working. So they came up with something that worked for them, which is quiz funnels. I have discussed this in some episodes. I think it was like in 2021 or 2022. Quiz funnels are great, are not for every brand, but those who do it well, they see great results. So much that I'm going to tell you in a minute, but they are acing it with them. Why quiz funnel? Because in their case, it's basically a guided process to help people find what they are looking for, and it made sense because they sell products that have many variants like skin color, hair color, beard color, among many others. So you needed kind of guide which products were best for you if you were navigating the website. But did it work well since day one? No. It required many iterations, and eventually they found great results with it. So much that it currently converts and listen well 80%, 80% of those who start the quiz. So it's a high conversion funnel. The lesson is spend the time to analyze what works for others in the space, but also chase your own vision and design something unique that stands out. Then test, test, and iterate, of course. And don't be emotional about it. In their case, again, they wanted something so different that it flopped. So they need to find some people somewhere in the middle, right? So that's what they did and why it succeeded. Last but not least, number 4, personalized purchase experience on a very rigid channel. You can do whatever comes to mind on your website, but not on Amazon. Amazon is not your platform. You can't do whatever you want there. So how do you keep a personalized experience in a third-party channel that doesn't offer a high level of personalization, right? I mean, I just said that they do a high level of personalization on the website through the quiz. They personalize the whole experience and the product they end up recommending to the one doing the quiz, right? So what they did on Amazon is sell standard products, but they informed Amazon customers of a QR code they will see in the product packaging. And when they scan that, they have a lot of information to personalize the experience. I know many brands nowadays are using QR codes, but maybe they're using it to promote some other products or to send them to the website. They are doing that to personalize the experience to the next level. So the lesson is there's always a way to achieve what you want. You're just not thinking hard or smart enough. Okay. So I hope um, these four pieces of advice were useful, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.